What are y'all surprises? Surprises, negative and
Cleveland.
positive. You got surprised that Cleveland is doing so
Cleveland
well?
and Golden State. Cleveland and Golden State.
Yeah.
I think I never expected Cleveland to be out. I mean, you never even look at Cleveland like that, really. But I haven't really watched many of their games. But I mean, you just look at the story; they're just taking care of business. They play the Celtics coming up, don't they, Eddie?
Tuesday.
Cleveland Tuesday.
Yeah,
Golden State too. I mean, I think Steph's carrying that team. I just think the role players are stepping up. I mean, never expected them to be at the top of the West for sure.
Yeah, you know what the irony of it is. The head coach from Cleveland came from Golden State, and now those two teams are exceptionally well. Exactly.
Who's the coach? What's the coach name?
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, he was in New York. Yeah. He was in New York when I was in New York.
And he was. Remember, he was a coach with Brooklyn. And he was over there for a hot second. I think, sometimes. No, I believe. Not I think. I believe that sometimes a different voice can inject a different energy. And sometimes if it happens in the middle of the season, that voice can only resonate for X amount of time. We've seen it a lot where guys fire the head coach. All of a sudden, this team goes on a 4-game. They play well for 4 games, and then the dust settles, and then they back to their regular shit. But when you have a guy that comes in from the very beginning, and he has cachet by winning championships, by coaching really great players, and then you hire like a guy like Johnny Bryant, who came from the coaches that he used to be with Utah. Then last year he was with the New York Knicks. You hire a guy like that who is very close with Donovan Mitchell, and all of a sudden everything changes. Everything changes because now the message isn't falling on deaf ears. The message is being received, and the star players are relaying that message as opposed to being like, what's this dude talking about, man? I'm tired of this. He said the same thing over and over and over. You know what I mean? Like, and that thing that can happen. And so I think with Cleveland, they were close last year. Let's not forget, they were one of the top teams last year in the East. And if it wasn't for injuries, they would have been fighting for that number 1 seed. But they ended up. Good point. Evan Mobley got hurt. Jared Allen got hurt.
I'm not Jerome Allen. Jared Allen.
Garland. Yeah, Jared Allen got hurt. Garland got hurt. With it. So they dealt with a lot of injuries, but they were right there. Even though they got swept, they got ran through by the Celtics, but they were right there. And what that does is that wakens. And Mike, you get to test this. Ty, you too. You played in game. You play that team that is supposed to be that team, and you not all the way healthy, and you felt like, man, it was a game here. We could have stole that game. Maybe that would have changed things. It's 1-1. We going back over here. But it wasn't able to materialize because they were injured. But I thought J.B. Bickerstaff did a good job with them. But obviously, the same way that a message can fall on deaf ears, I think maybe his message got tired and got old, and a fresh breath of air was not going to another team, was having a new coach come in, a new regime come in, bringing another coaching staff, assistant coaches. So to me, I'm not surprised by Cleveland. I'm more so surprised by Golden State because look how they're going 11 deep, 12 deep. I don't know. Is that sustainable? Let me ask y'all that. Do you think going 11, 12 deep, as well as they're playing right now, is something that's sustainable going all the way into the playoffs? Because it's going to shrink up.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I think.
First, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say, I think so, but you got the regular season really doesn't mean anything. You get all these guys that do all the stuff in the regular season, but will they be able to put all that into effect when the playoffs come? You know what I mean? Because you get a lot of these guys. Even when we played you guys, Eddie, me and Joe Johnson were only 2 people that had playoff experience on that team. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get the same thing. But I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if they can handle the pressure of when they get to that next spot or the playoffs.
Well, I think it's smart because Steve knows that Draymond is older, Steph is older, and injuries may or may not happen. But to give these role players, these young players, valuable game time minutes, it only builds their confidence. So I think it's crazy smart. And think about all the teams in the playoffs that run out of gas and lose a series because they've been playing all this time, but now in the playoff times come, they're tired. Well, Golden State, they can go 8, 9, 10 deep. I love it. Go ahead.
That's why you gotta get in shape. I mean, like I sit on that panel all the time, and everybody. I used to hate when coach took me out the game. You know what I mean? So now everybody's begging, "Oh, we need to cut down on minutes. We need to cut down on minutes." That's what the all season's for, to get in shape. I hate it. I love playing 40 minutes a game, 41 to 42 minutes a game. I used to hate coming out the game, man.
So let me play devil's advocate real quick with you, Ty. Okay, so when the playoffs come, you can't run 12 deep in the playoffs. We know that. That shit just don't happen. So when you cut down 3, 4 guys and three out of the 4, they not playing. Or if they get in, it's at the end of the game. How does that affect the locker room? Because now all season long, think about this. And I've been in this situation before. All season long, balling out, man. I'm feeling hella good, man. Like, ooh, playoffs coming. I can't wait. I did everything I was supposed to do in the regular season to prove that I could be counted on. And all of a sudden you get a DNP, a DNP, another DNP, another DNP. And you like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was just up for 6th man of the year. All of a sudden I'm not playing. Now you got a disgruntled employee coming in the building. Now you know how this go, Mike. Motherfucker over here like, this motherfucker over here, man, ain't playing me. Got this motherfucker out here, man. And look, he didn't fucked around and went 0 for 6. You know what I mean? I could have went out there. You know how that shit go? You know, like that's how that shit goes. And that could cause an issue. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only thing that I feel like could be an issue moving forward. It's working right now. Maybe he, cracked the code, but right now I think it's working. So what was you finna say?
I think that would be an issue in the weak culture with the weak coaching staff. And so right now he's building the confidence, but when it's playoff time, he have a coach to player conversation. He has a team conversation and he gives them their roles. But what people don't realize is during this season, those players are building trust and confidence in the coaching staff as well. And so everybody knows that the rotations are limited in playoff time. Great job. You've earned your money and a possible extension. So phenomenal job. Be ready when your number is called. And the fact that Steph and Draymond and Looney, all those guys have won multiple championships. So their culture is super, super strong. But if you got guys who are whispering, they won't even be there by playoff time because they're going to be gone.